It's estimated 1.5 million Americans will file for bankruptcy this year alone.
And more than half of them will blame medical costs for causing their financial hardships. In tonight's cover story, Melinda Roeder takes a closer look at medical bankruptcy and how some patients are finding financial relief.
For Laverne Ford,
wait a minute, $429, wait a minute, my deductible? Something's not right with that. Something's not right.
the calls from bill collectors never seem to stop.
It's like 400 here, 500 here, 700. I'm thinking, well, how come I wasn't told this a while back? You know, what's going on? All of a sudden now, they want all this big money, and I don't have it.
Medical bills, he says, have consumed most of his monthly budget for the last 10 years.
Each time I go to the doctor, I have to get a shot, and this shot costs $1,000 for my prostate.
He was first diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's now in remission, but he's also survived lung cancer and frequent hospital visits for pancreatitis. He has insurance, but it only covers so much.
And I pay good money. I pay $405 a month insurance for me and my wife.
His bills piled up until he finally considered bankruptcy.
I mean, we get a lot of calls every day for people who can't afford to pay their bills.
David Ruben is an attorney who specializes in bankruptcy and says the majority of his clients are people like Laverne who struggle with medical costs.
They can't afford to pay a medical bill, and after a couple months now, the medical provider is suing them. And then they get a judgment against them, and they see their pay garnished, and that's when they really call in an emergency situation.
According to the American Journal of Medicine, 60% of all bankruptcy can be blamed on medical bills, which often leads to other kinds of debt.
They just can't afford their copays, and they have to get their medicine. So what they do is they buy their medicine with the money that they have, and then they don't have any other money, so they use it to run up their credit cards.
By the time clients come to Ruben, their credit rating is usually poor. Bankruptcy can lower that score even more, because it stays on your file for up to 10 years. But
people think that that means they can't get credit for 7-10 years. It's not that way at all. It never has been. People sometimes are able to buy new cars right away.
bankruptcy isn't for everyone, but for some, it's the only way out.
My money's not going on higher. My money's staying where it's at, but the bills are steadily climbing. And it's like a ladder that I'm not going to ever get to the top. And it's real stressful to me.
Clients who are sick often see improvement to their health once the stress of the bills and phone calls cease.
That's what bankruptcy is for, to help people, to give you a fresh start, to get you back on your feet.
For Laverne, just talking about it is a relief.
I'll take full responsibility for it, but I just want a second chance.
Melinda Roeder, Fox 45 News at 10.
Well, some insurance companies are now selling extra cancer policies in response to the increase of medical-related bankruptcies.
But policyholders usually must be free of any pre-existing condition.